Okay, Mario once again, and this is the painted frame of this go-kart that I've been working on for a while, making some changes. Front end is it's got a new design, new setup here with these welded brackets using angle steel. This is something new that I decided to do in lieu of the old brackets that were these maker pipe connectors. It's just kind of a makeshift um, um, bracket spindle. Although this worked pretty good, you can see how I did this. I put a bolt right through it. I shaved the bolt on the sides so that I can bolt this right on the connector, and then I just added this arm right here as my steering connector, my steering horn. Um, but that's how I did these. So I wasn't too happy with these because this angle right here is more this, even though this is supposed to be 90 degrees, it's got a little wider opening than 90 degrees, maybe another 5 degrees or so. And what I need is a little more inward angle to establish the Ackerman angles. So I ended up doing these brackets here. This is my pivot point right there, and this is offset by about ½ inch from that line right here to there. It's a little bit closer. I would have liked this to be a little bit closer, but since I did this with just one piece angle iron or angle steel, and I cut another section right here to superimpose it on the other one, so that I can create that bracket. This also allows me a closer scrub radius than what I had before. This is a lot closer than before. This wheel was way out here, with that arm that I just showed with the maker pipe connectors. So it's a lot cleaner, a lot better, a lot more rigid, I believe. Maybe not so much as rigid, but a lot, because that rigidity was there with the other one as well, because these are steel 1/8 inch thick steel parts, so they're great connectors for a lot of stuff. Very secured. And when you connect things the way I connected these, I flattened the ends of these tubes like I did my other horizontals here, just to allow the pipe to be retained by this bolt, the same bolt on the connector. I don't like drilling. I have done that before, drill holes, extra holes, like I did on these, and I really dislike doing this because it ruins the connector. Just so it's better just to press the ends of the pipe with with a die like I did. I showed that in another video how I did that, just with a PLA printed die put on a press, and then I create these indentations so that it fits and it matches the inside geometry of this connector, so that it clamps it a lot better, more secure. And so this front end is brand new. I already have the wheels installed, and I'm going directly to just a single pivot here on the links before I had them spread out, to the sides. And so that's also allowing me to, set up my Ackerman angle. And for those of you that don't know what Ackerman is the let me just put it this way: when you turn this wheel, has a lot more radius than the outer wheel. The outer wheel has less radius, and that's what the Ackerman angles and offsets establish. Look up Ackerman settings on YouTube or online, then you'll find a lot more information. I don't want to go too detailed into that because I've already talked about that, and there's some other videos that explain that a lot better. But this is the frame already painted. I painted this in a sort of a hammer gunmetal gray, which is the stuff right here, Rust-Oleum hammer grade. I love this stuff. I use that on gates and anything that's metallic, fencing, stuff like that. So it's a nice color. It's not totally black. So this is how my frame is set up. I wanted to do this video mainly to capture how I did this frame here. These have a curvature here, and that's to establish a little more of an angle on the front end of the seat. So when I'm on my seat, the front end is kind of raised like that, and it's just to get a little more comfort as you're sitting. Your legs are going to be on an angle like that, and just to you're sitting on a sort of a bowl right here. When the seat is on and the back is installed. So that's how I did these bars right here, and they match the angles of these 90-degree maker pipe connectors. These bars right here come down, to that, and they just work really, really nice. This section here, as I mentioned in another video, unfortunately, I could have done it with just a setup like this with a major pipe connector and same EMT tubing, but I opted to do this with this steel tubing because I have quite a bit of this stuff, and it just works really well with these blocks that support the direct drive motors that are here, that I already also modify with these PU polyurethane high density foam wheels. I cut the inside of those wheels. These are, by the way, 10-inch wheels. They are marked 4.1/3.5-4. Very typical of a wheel that is used for lawn. What are those called? Two wheelers and things, for agricultural equipment. You can get these at Harbor Freight. I got these actually through Amazon. I got 4 of these foam wheels, and it was actually to do the front end of the go-karts here, but I decided to do this on these wheels, just cut out the inside to fit the 5-inch rim or 5-inch hub on these brushless motors, because these other wheels that I was using, these are inflatable with a tube. It was very difficult to assemble them, and I don't want to cut holes on the actual motor. Some people have done, they cut a hole on the side to allow the filler, the air filling tube, to come out. I don't want to do that modification, so I opted to do this, and it's working out really, really nice. I already drove with these wheels before I took the Kart apart to paint it. Now I'm reassembling it. Now that it's painted and it's had a couple of days to dry, I'm going to be completing the assembly here. But the front end is already done, and it's working out, like I said, a lot better than what I had before. Originally this car was set up just like a real go-kart is set up with, because it is inspired by a real go-kart dimensions. And I had this bracket right here was actually a bracket that stuck out. I think it was one of these brackets right here with the extra bolts, and I really locked that in there. And this was, I think, this one like this. And so this part right here was my actually pivot point for my makeshift C brackets that I did also with EMT tubing. If you look at my original videos of this go-kart, you'll see that that setup here, and it had a kingpin inclination and caster. This has caster. The angle is there for caster, so it's, if you look at these two bars right here, they're not totally vertical. They're offset a little bit towards the back, and this to create a caster for the wheels. It does not have camber and it does not have kingpin inclination. I don't care for those things. I'm not racing this, and it's just for fun. And like I was saying, the scrub angle is a lot closer to this pivot point, so it's going to work a lot better than what I had before. Yeah, so this is where I'm at, and I just wanted to capture this just to show how I approach this particular project. The tube, the bending, this was done, believe it or not, on that this bender here that's been sitting in the sun and the weather here. Just this is garbage right now, but when it was brand new, this was clean, this was solid. This material tends to sponge up. This compressed wood type of board. So I'm going to take this apart, and I'm going to remount this on a different setup here. But this is what I use here. I mount this post right here. It's part of this canopy. Is solid on inside the ground with cement or with concrete. So that wasn't moving, and that's why I decided to mount this here to do my bends here. You can see I have some markings here how I was bending this. I actually made this pulley out of ABS. I had a chunk of ABS, round ABS stock, and I made that. That's actually sitting on 2 ball bearings, skateboard ball bearings. And so that's been my bender. That was my bender when I did these bends right here. And this was a little tricky to do these bends, with precision, especially mirror imaging the tubes. A lot of these bends were done, like I said, in that way. This right here was actually my first trial bends, and so I had these extra tubes that I decided to use them as a front end. They weren't intended to be curved like this at the front. I actually wanted straight ones here, but since I had these and I don't want to waste any more material, and it just fit this application here, this area, I decided to use that there. Yeah, so I'm going to be completing this. Today's Mother's Day. Actually, I just sat with my family and we had lunch. So I'm taking a little break and I'm going to be finishing this. I also have a pool to take care of, the pump that we just installed a new motor, and I want to do the filter, but I bought some sand to do the filter, but that sand is nasty. They require a certain type of protection, so you don't get any of that dust in your lungs. It's nasty. It can cause cancer. A lot of things can cause cancer, but I don't want to take my chances with that sand, so I'm going to return that and go with a different route. Go the same route I had before that. I had polyfill in my filter, and that was working just fine. Except the polyfill, I think I'm going to buy the balls. They do sell balls I think it's polyfill that's just compressed into 2-inch balls, and then they use that. It's a lot easier to take out and remove. And some people even reuse those. They put them in the washing machine to rewash those and reuse them. So I think polyfill is the way to go. With this in lieu of sand. Although there are mixed pros and cons with polyfill, but there's also mixed pros and cons, with sand. I'd rather not deal with the sand for the reasons I just explained. Polyfill is a lot safer, lighter. It's a lot lighter than dealing with sand. Those are 50-pound bags that get, and that filter requires 500 pounds, so it gets a lot of. There's a lot of weight and a lot of I think unnecessary weight. That you can do a similar filtering with other ways. And so I have been investigating all those ways and making my own filter type of thing, just with a mix of materials, polyfill, sand, just regular sand, river rock, coal, charcoal coal, or regular coal, and yeah, you can make some really nice filters that way. It's not something that typically people do, because most people just buy the filters and let the installers do the filter. But I'm just one of those guys that I don't settle for. I don't like settling for things that everybody and their mother does, or I don't follow the rules that companies they force you to buy these things at high expense when you really don't need to. There are other ways around it. So if you understand that, then it's a lot easier to attack projects like this and control control the application and the intention of that project. So anyway, getting back to my cart, this is where I'm at. Stay tuned for the continuation of this one.